I don't really see what one has to do with the other, especially consider and using the Civil War to talk about black Americans. That war was not fought for black people to have guns. That's not.
That war was fought for black people to have freedoms in this country.
Yeah.
Actually, that's why the Civil War was fought.
Okay.
And the sad
but that
part
wasn't
about
fought for black people to have guns. I think.
Actually, you know, funny fact is black people did not get to enjoy the other freedoms until their Second Amendment rights were secured. And I think that that's one of the lessons that we learned.
Aren't allowed to enjoy the freedoms.
I disagree with you on that, Don. I disagree with you. And I think you're doing a disservice to our country by failing to recognize the fact that we have equality before the law.
And you live in this country, then you can disagree with me. But we're not. You mentioned in here that we have three different shades of melanin.
Don, I think we have to be able to talk about these issues in the open, regardless of the color of our skin. Black Americans today, to say that, compare that to 1865 and 1964,
I think for you to compare it to 1865 and 1964 is actually, I think.
Say, why don't you pick on somebody your own disposition?
Oh, please, Mr. Barroom Brawler. Don't hurt me or anything like that.
Before I get started, I think it's important to let my viewers know and anyone that happens across this video know that I am in no way a supporter of Don Lemon, okay? Right? He is a fucking coon, okay? And he gets on my nerves because he's so goddamn fake, all right? He's so goddamn fake. I want to get it out there, okay? I abhor Don Lemon's and especially a lot of his behavior over the past decade or so, okay? That being said, we're going to move on now, okay? We're going to move on to the subject of this video. His name is Vivek Ramaswamy, okay? Vivek Ramaswamy, he hopes to be the president. He wants to be the president of this country, you know, America. 3Ks and shit. And that's particularly telling and shit, those 3Ks and shit, because this guy is he has a checklist of all the things that would scare the living shit out of you as a regular citizen with common sense and shit. All right, but that's not the reason I'm making a video. The reason I'm making a video is because of the bullshit back and forth he had with Don Lemon regarding black people in this country. Okay? Black people in this fucking country. Mr. Ramaswamy, I don't understand you. Okay, you're an anomaly and shit in that, you know, given your upbringing, and by the way, people, he had his Wikipedia page altered. And I know it was altered because I went and read it after I saw the initial interview. And you know, I read it and then I made a mental note that I was going to talk about this. And then when I went back, it was different. I was like, wait a minute, some shit's missing here. And then I looked in the sidebar because, you know, Wikipedia changed their format. And it said that he had his page altered. Okay, when I scrolled down and looked and read, it said he had his page altered. But he said that didn't have anything to do with, you know, something that would damage his, you know, his political aspirations, I suppose. All right, so, you know, I went digging, you know, and I guess Mr. Ramaswamy didn't have enough, you know, he didn't feel like paying a New Yorker to, you know, to hide some shit for him. All right, and the reason I'm talking about this, and, you know, I will be pocket watching this shit because this gentleman is worth $600 million. That's his liquid net worth, the $600 million. All right? $600 million. He's a goddamn Republican. I don't give a shit about his political affiliation whatsoever. Okay? I don't give a shit about the two-party system here in this goddamn supposed country. I don't give a shit about that. Okay, I don't give a shit about that. I just want to say this guy has a net worth of $600 million fucking dollars. He founded a biopharmaceutical company, Realvent Sciences, in 2014 after working as an investment partner. Okay? Now I'm reading that shit, okay? I'm reading down his Wikipedia page that's been altered. Since 2020, he has written and spoken out against stakeholder capitalism, big tech censorship, and critical race theory. After leaving Realvent in 2021, he co-founded and is the executive chairman of Strive Asset Management, an investment firm opposed to environmental, social, and corporate governance. Okay, ESG framework. All right, so ESG is like woke shit. He's against what they call woke. It's their own construct. Okay, this whole woke bullshit is the minority majority's construct. Okay, all right, pretty fucked up. He's married and he has 2 sons, and he's a Hindu. All right. Now, like I said, Forbes estimated his net worth is $600 million, and he lives in New York and shit, which in and of itself is it's a bastion of for the 1%ers. All right. Now this guy grew up privileged as fuck. All right, privileged as fuck. Grew up here, Cincinnati or whatever. Checks all the high achiever and all that bullshit. But what he had removed from his Wikipedia page was that he is a member of the caste. Like caste or caste. I don't know if I'm saying that right now. I don't know if I give a fuck. The highest caste within the general category that he belongs to is Brahmin. He's a Brahmin. All right. Now, historically, the priests and other religious leaders who also served as educators. Just 4% of Indians today identify as Brahmin. Okay, just 4%, and this guy is one of them. All right, he's one of them. He's got a net worth of $600 million. He's lived a privileged life. He lived in his own fucking, conservative bubble, I guess. And, he wants to be president of the United States and shit. He opposes critical race theory and all this other bullshit. And he engaged in some would say lively back and forth with Don Lemon and shit, And, just to put things in perspective, Don Lemon is an employee of CNN. So his hands were, Don fucking Lemon's hands were effectively handcuffed behind his back, metaphorically speaking, when dealing with this guy because he's a big wheel. He's a big money guy and shit. He's a elite, a 1%er and shit. Literally a 1%er. So boy, he had the handcuffs on it. Don still managed to slip some of that shit out. For whatever reason. I'm not gonna pontificate on that any further and shit. But I want to say to Mr. Ramaswamy, why are we on your radar? How can you even see black people in this country? You're looking at us from the point of view of a human looking at a fucking ant and shit. And it's like, it's really telling and shit, okay? It makes you look like less of a person, okay? Barely a man, in my opinion, okay? Despite your considerable wealth and influence and shit, okay? What the fuck? Why would black people be on your radar, okay? I could just call you a racist, okay? I could just call you a fucking racist. But I want to dig further. Why would black people be on your radar shit? It's just low-hanging fruit. You have no platform to run on. And every one of your talking points is a nightmare for, the supposed left and shit. And women in general and, minorities and supposed people of color and shit. And through all that, you as well as I know that black people are at the bottom of the barrel in this fucking country and shit, if you call it, with 3K's inset, okay? We're at the bottom of the barrel economically and shit. We're in nuclear winter already and have been for quite some time, as little as this, made a big deal about it, okay? Yet we're the nation's boogeyman and shit, okay? You guys have gone out of your way to stunt the development of black people in this goddamn country and shit. You 1%ers. Everything comes from the fucking top. We shouldn't be on your radar. If you want to do something constructive, you want to give back to the world, give your time, your valuable $600 million time and shit. It's probably $1 billion or something. If you want to give back, why don't you go to your home country and work on the ills over there? Okay, they have problems over there, shit that you can help. Okay, you're a 1%er. You have influence and shit. You have channels and everything. Why can't you give back to your own people? Don't be selfish. Don't take yourself away from people that need you. Your people and shit. Stop being a coon. Okay, stop being a brown bag, coon. Okay, all right. Now I want to be boorish or nothing. I want to just. I feel like just cursing your ass out and shit. It's your giant fucking head. Okay? Because there's nothing in that bitch, okay? Everything, the fix was in from the moment you open your eyes on this planet. And this You know, it's plane of existence. It's plane of reality, whatever the fuck. You know, the minute you were born, you had several silver spoons up your mouth and ass and shit. How would you know anything about black people? What has a black person or their teachings or anything about their daily life ever done that affected you personally? Okay? Now I want to talk to you one percenters and shit. What have black people done that has affected you on a personal level? This goes for everybody out there. You know, somebody get to answer me. Answer me. You know, why do you want to be president of this country? It's fucked. It's fucked up. You know, you might as well, start a new venture. Okay, and I think that you should go to your country because they have some serious problems over there. You over here worried about critical race theory and black people. Whether or not there's racism here, that's a moot point and shit. Okay, in 2023. But what is important and shit. Your own home country, they got a shitload of crime there. A lot, epic levels of SA. Sexual misconduct and shit by groups of men on women and just all kind of shit. Just untold poverty and shit, And most of it's perpetrated by, because of the strict feudal caste system that you have there. Okay? All right? A lot of success there. A lot of investment from outside interests into your fucking country and shit, okay? Because they want to undercut the American people and shit. Oh, and they take jobs and all this shit, and they just, everything goes over to your fucking country and shit. And you guys get you're getting a handout and shit, okay? Pretty much and shit. I think that's welfare and shit. And we should revoke that, okay? Because the country has people like you, okay? You have influence and you know people and shit. You can go and revitalize your country and shit, okay? And maybe you should try to become a leader over there and shit and work on the whole Indian, the whole conflict over there. Make sure they don't nuke the shit out of each other, the two countries over there. I drew a blank for a minute. I want to tell everybody I am well read, but it's getting, I'm getting up in age and sometimes I draw a blank. But as far as this is concerned, this shit, I think that you are out of pocket and out of order and shit. You owe the black community, the ethnic black community of this here, these here colonies, the America Triple K inset. I think you owe black people an apology and shit, and you should bow out of the race, okay? Nobody wants you as a president, and I'll have you know that I will never vote for you.
I don't really see what one has to do with the other, especially consider and using the Civil War to talk about black Americans. That war was not fought for black people to have guns. That's not.
That war was fought for black people to have freedoms in this country. Yeah. Actually, that's why the Civil War was fought.
Okay.
And the sad part about it.
That wasn't fought for black people to have guns. I think.
Actually, you know, funny fact is, black people did not get to enjoy the other freedoms until their Second Amendment rights were secured. And I think that that's one of the lessons that we learned.
Black people still aren't allowed to enjoy the freedom.
I disagree with you on that, Don. I disagree with you. I think you're doing a disservice to our country by failing to recognize the fact that we had the equality before the law.
When you are in black skin and you live in this country, then you can disagree with me, but we're not. You mentioned in there that we have three different shades
Don, I
of
think we have to be
melanin
able to
here.
talk about these issues in the open, regardless of the color of our skin. Black Americans today, to say that, compare that to 1865 and 1964,
I think for you to compare it to
absolutely
1865 and
have equal rights in
1964
this
is
country.
actually, I think.
This message has been paid for by the Dusties. Yes, the niggas you love to hate.